So when I hear people say that they can even kill a pothos, what I hear is you don't know how to water a plant. So this is going to be a quick overview of how to water a houseplant, any plant. So it starts with knowing when to water, knowing your signs. So usually this plant, this bit up here is like standing straight up, and right now it's like hanging low, and the leaves even look like a little extra wrinkled, a little more wrinkled than usual. Same with these ones, and especially these down in here. And that's where you can tell she's thirsty. She's just looking limp. She's down to the side. If you find, where is it? In here, some of the like smaller, younger leaves they just be looking sad. They're all slumped over to this side. That's how I know this plant wants water. She's ready. Look at this leaf. If it wasn't thirsty, it would be like wink out here. It would be standing up straight. This one too. Wink. So then this one over here is my Marble Queen Pothos, and I watered it just the other day, and it was really droopy, and that was actually what made me think of making this video, because these things are so dramatic. But you can tell she's not thirsty anymore, because this long piece right here is willing to like stand up on its own. See, it's stiff. You've got perky leaves, and the little babies down on the inside are standing straight up. They're not flopped over. Nobody looks like the cooked spinach. And then the other thing this plant does, how you can really tell she's recently been watered, she just stopped doing it, she was doing it last night, is the tips of the leaves will be like wet towards the ends of the vines. They like sweat, they perspire, and so when they've freshly been watered, some of that moisture will like come out the tips of the leaves. So that's what a pothos looks like when it's thirsty. Succulents are a little harder to tell when to water. Some people say they're really easy to take care of because you never need to water them. That's not true. You definitely need to water it, and you still got to give it a lot of water. You just got to be selective about when. So this plant, I can tell it's thirsty because it's got these little wrinkles on it, and you know, it's just looking a little soft. It's not as firm as it could be, and like the ends are where you really want to look, because that's like the fresh growth, and they're not, I don't think I ever really see these wrinkle on the ends much, but this leaf, this is like my big indicator leaf. These ones real wrinkly. And yeah, same with this donkey tail back here. That one I actually don't understand, I'll be honest. But it's looking a little wrinkly, almost like it wants water, but it's also looking kind of yellow towards the bottom, so I'm scared to water it. I think it'll drop beans. But this one, she thirsty. Same with this one, with this rickrack cactus. You can really tell with this older leaf, which is super dusty. I gotta dust better. And this one is also just like wrinkly and limp, whereas the new growth is like looking really stiff, really happy. But it's not bad. It just wants water. She's just starting to get thirsty, but I'm gonna let her beg a little longer. So back to this one. We've already decided this golden pothos is just begging to be watered. So what I'm gonna do is I have my watering can here. I like one with a nice thin nose. That way I can just like aim better and make sure I get the whole pot instead of just like one corner. And I put some fertilizer in here, but there's nothing special about it. So I just start watering. And this pot actually has pretty good drainage, even though it's got that like built-in saucer doodad. So I'll get that side and I'll stick it back here, and I try really hard, and this is hard to do one-handed. I try not to like knock over any branches or poke holes in the leaves. Just get that watering can back there. I let it drip down a while. Now the trick to not killing your plants every time you water is to be careful with how you water. One, the pot needs to be able to drain. So this pot, like I said, it's got good drainage in it. and you water, and you can tilt the pot and wait until you see liquid come out the bottom, come out the basin. And I go slow with this one because I feel like it takes a while for the water to like actually travel everywhere, and I don't want to overwater because it's a pain, especially with the like trellis situation, to pick it up, let the water drain, bring it somewhere else. Like, this is my bookshelf, I don't want it all wet. So I'm careful, and I just give this plant like just enough water. Sometimes I honestly don't quite give it enough to let it drain out, but I am gonna try to water this side a little better. Getting in there, pouring more and more, and we wait. And then, yep, the basin is starting to fill up, and I might have to get a rag. I think this is gonna spill over. But that's how you do it. And usually you would want that water to just kind of like drain out and drain somewhere else. This plant honestly doesn't mind soaking that water back up, but sometimes I stick a rag in there or like a sponge and I slurp all the water out so it doesn't go back up. But I think it'll be fine. So, watered, beautiful. And I'll show in a couple hours when she's probably perky again. This is my Skin Dapsis Silver Satin something or other, Silvery Ann. I don't know which one it is, but the silvery pothos. And this one's another one that's really easy to tell when it wants water because the leaves will start to curl. So this one's not quite thirsty yet, but that's my first leaf giving me the sign that, you know, in a few days might be time. And then the other trick is always just stick your finger in the dirt and see how it feels. And different dirt does get watered differently, so pay attention to that. Like this, really rocky, and it's in a succulent pot. It kind of dries out quickly. So I water this one probably more often than I would if this was in a plastic pot or something. This is my other big potted pothos in soil. And this one, same thing. I wait till it's droopy, I wait till it's wrinkly. Right now, looking at it, doesn't quite need water. If I watered it, probably wouldn't kill it, but I don't like to frequently water. I wait until it's asking. I wait until she says, hey, I'm thirsty, can you help me out? So this one actually has a smaller pot than you would imagine for a plant of this size. See? It's one of my first plants. And sometimes I'll put like a little drain tray in there to catch the water. You can see like this weird wooden box has calcium lines or whatever, because I let it drain. But the thing about this one is this one's in plastic, and the other ones I showed one in terracotta and one in clay. And so the pot that your plant is in also makes a difference in how frequently you water. So the plastic pot kind of retains more moisture. See, it's not quite damp in there to the touch. There's still a little bit of coolness in the soil. So the soil is reading dry to my finger, and the leaves are still pretty perky. This one's just starting to point downwards, but I would say this one you gotta wait. And my handy moisture meter here will confirm that this is still a little bit moist, but mostly dry. So probably a few more days before I need to water this one. So if all of that, checking the dirt and watching the leaves to see if they wrinkle, if that was all too complicated for you, then I'm really going to recommend semi-hydroponics, or even just straight up leaving leaves in a vase, because there is no guesswork here. You might have to tend to it more often, but if you keep it in a clear vase, you can see where the water is, and as long as the roots are in water, you're good. And like this one, you can see even though the roots aren't fully submerged, we're still in business because there's plenty of humidity. The flask shape really helps for that. And like with this one, as long as these roots are mostly submerged, this plant will never be thirsty, it will never wrinkle, it will never have a dried up leaf. I mean, it can still get hurt You know, if I leave the light too close to it, it'll burn. You know, if you forget about it for like a month, you're gonna have crusty roots and a sad plant. But there's a lot less guesswork than keeping a plant in dirt in a pot over in a vase. But it doesn't get its nutrients that way, and yeah. But if you say, I can even kill a pothos, I challenge you to keep one in water. Okay, hello again. It's the next evening. Yesterday was August 5th. Tonight is August 6th. And we got a new bookshelf in the meantime. But also, this plant that we watered yesterday has drank up all of that water. And you can tell now because these leaves are perking up. We also had to kind of move the plant a bit, and I had to retrellis it so it's not sitting the same. But if you look at these leaves down in here, there's just a whole different kind of life to them. We've got bounce and perk, and the leaves are pointing upwards. Meanwhile, this other plant that yesterday afternoon I said I probably wouldn't water it yet, it is starting to show a lot more that it's thirsty. We've got leaves just pointing down, looking a little thirsty. A little bit. Not quite dried out yet, but a little limp. So maybe I'll water this one tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow's Shabbat, so I'll probably water it before Shabbat. But yeah, that's that. This one I'll probably also, I might try to repot this before Shabbat. Who knows if I'll get crazy and make a video of that. I also showed this one yesterday. This is the one in a plastic pot. Yesterday it was perky, today it's still perky. It's not quite thirsty yet, whereas the one in terracotta, it was quenched yesterday, and she is dehydrated today. So, I didn't really film an intro, and this is going to be like my first video on YouTube, so I thought I'd do at least an outro. My name is Lexi, and I do things. I have a lot of plants, and that's what people tend to ask me about because I post about them on my Instagram a lot. And people like plants, and they have a hard time keeping them alive. So friends and family ask me for plant advice, and I keep getting told I should put things on YouTube, so I'm gonna try it. And I thought maybe I'll make videos about other things. Who knows? We'll see. Anyway, good night. Shabbat Shalom if that's your thing.